Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's webinar, Google's Workspace and the New Tools Replacing G Suite. My name's Chris Hopkins Ward, and I cover change management at Wursta, and with me is Brian Kelleher, who's a senior sales engineer. So really quickly, before we begin, we're happy that you joined us. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Both Brian and I are here on behalf of Wursta. Wursta is a premier Google Cloud partner focused on collaboration design. And it's Wursta's mission to help companies maximize their use of the cloud. And that's through training like I cover, or guiding your users or your IT infrastructure and beyond. And we're here and we're confident in what we do because we have a team of Google experts guiding our clients at every turn. In fact, your two speakers today, myself and Brian included, are actually from Google at some point in our past careers. Isn't that right, Brian?
That's correct. So again, I think that the key is that Google builds the great platform, but there are partners like Wursta that take the expertise to a different level. So we're really glad that you guys are attending to listen to our session today.
Exactly. Thanks, Brian. So for today's agenda, which Brian and I will be taking you through, first we'll go into personal and Wursta's insights into why Google made the switch to Google Workspace. And then we'll talk about the key differences between Google Workspace and G Suite, what makes it different. And Brian will take you through some new licensing and pricing options, or where to find that information. And then finally, we'll open up the floor to you, all you listeners, for questions that we can feel that we can answer. And before we really get started, I wanted to say that me and Brian will be sharing our points of view together so that you get a different perspective on what's happening, all right? Well, great. Well, we're going to start with these three percentages. The first, going from left to right, since COVID has happened and has affected the world, more than half of people in this study from Sage Journal and Future of Work study, more than half the people are feeling more valued and included as remote contributors. And that's hopefully because we all now have access to the same technology, the same webcams and speakers and microphones, so that we can make our point heard. It's been a global equalizer. And then point two, even a bigger percentage, the employees are feeling more empathetic towards colleagues now that they have a better view of their home life. I don't know about you, Brian, but the thing I've learned through COVID is that no matter your status or the space you take up in the metaphorical room, if you own a cat, that cat will make itself known and get in the way. Am I right?
Yeah. That's correct. Yeah, but of course there are tools that are going to help you around that as well. So the key is it doesn't really matter where you're at. If you need to react and be efficient, then you can jump on any of the G Suite Workspace services and you know, have access anytime that you need it.
Yep, that's right, and that goes right into the last point. The largest percentage of all our managers are expecting to have more flexible future work-at-home policies post-pandemic. I know that there's been a number of large companies announcing that they will be working from home indefinitely, for example. So if you're here and you don't know what Workspace is, you can look at this page and you can see some key differences. Both Brian and I have been with Google and working with what was G Suite and now Google Workspace since the early stages. And we've both noticed that Google has always looked towards the future, and it's seen companies that were in a standstill, companies that were using platforms that made them work on premises, for instance, or in disparate environments, refusing to change their processes year after year and falling behind, and ignoring things that make companies great and keep companies in the times, like teamwork and real-time collaboration in the cloud and innovation with using technology like machine learning and artificial intelligence.
Right, and I think that one of the key things to take away from here is, you know, obviously Google is rebranding its service, but maybe it's a time for you to reevaluate. Is what you're using now fulfilling your needs, or is there something else? So do you have the problems with siloing? We can help you with that. Do you have any processes that you need to automate? That's definitely something you could do on your own, or ask a partner to help you with as well. So I think really the key thing is on the right side here. Everything you see from a platform is one thing you can do from yourself, but what do you want to do with it once you are in the platform? And that's where we can come through. Can we help you with complex problem solving? Do you need additional services? That's why you want to talk to a partner. Workspace is great, but there's other ways to customize it for your own beings.
Exactly. And G Suite is now Workspace. So in the past few months, since COVID had happened again, there's been a variety of changes that Google has made to its productivity apps, both big and small. And hopefully some of you noticed things like they've pushed Meet platform for consumers and clients, added features and abilities that were actually honestly on the plans to happen next year. And now they've just been more present and actually reacting to what's been going on. So, and some of those changes have been long in the works, like this G Suite to Google Workspace change. But so Google has made this change into Google Workspace to bring all their disparate apps that actually collaborated together in the same family that is called Google Workspace. Now with updated icons, so now that these apps look like they're part of the same family.
Right, and so definitely, there's kind of a mix of people on the call today. Some have been using G Suite and some are new, or you may have looked at it before, right? So the rebranding is one thing, but really what I think the thing that you'll see as we go through here is that it's really a platform that allows you to react as quickly as you want. Maybe it's not an email that you want to send. Maybe it's somebody's online, you need to contact them directly and start working on a document, right? So there's definitely, the name has changed, and for those of you that have been Google customers before, the names do change, but the functionality keeps improving, right? And so let's show you some of that right now. So one of the things to start with, obviously, is that, it has the same familiar look and feel that you're used to. So if you're a personal Gmail user and you haven't seen G Suite before, the interface should look very familiar to you, which means as you hire people, of course, it's a familiar interface with them as well. So, and it's not just mail. I mean, mail is just one piece that you can do. But what you really need is interfaces that adapt to whatever device that you're working on, right? So Gmail has that capability. You can do your chat and everything from there. You can jump into Calendar. But what about my communications tools? I don't want to be on a laptop or locked into an office for that. We can do a mobile experience as well. So the other piece that you can do is now that you have these applications, and if you could jump back to that other slide before there, Chris. It's not just having 12 tabs or 5 tabs open. What you really want to have is one interface with everything in it, right? So yes, I'm on my phone or on my laptop. Then do I want to do mail? Do I have to open another tab, or do I have to go open another application? Not anymore, right? Do I want to set up, I notice this guy's online, do I want to chat with him instead of sending him an email? I'm going to jump in on that. Or maybe it's a video conference, right? Maybe I need to, I have some really hot prospect that I want to work with and I want to jump on with them right now and have a video call. I don't have to log into different applications. Workspace does that for you. And so, yes, G Suite had more of that kind of different channels and applications feel to it, whereas Workspace is really one place for everything that you want to do. And so, obviously, the email and communications is one piece, but there's other components and channels, if you want to see it that way, within G Suite that you want to use as well. So if I'm talking to somebody in a chat, should I send them an email, or do I want to jump on a video conference with them right now? Or if I am in chat, maybe that's a great place to go. Google has chat capabilities as well, and it's not the old chat window, but now you have the ability to set up rooms, Google Meet bots, and everything else. So, so it really gives you an ability to enhance that. And not only that, but you can integrate third-party applications in as well. So that may take some custom work, but that's why you want to talk to a partner like Wursta, because we're the ones that not only understand the underlying technology, but can make recommendations for best practices and so on. So obviously, if you guys have used any time of the type of G Suite services before, Workspace still has those. One of those is, the ability to collaborate within documents, but it also gives you more functionality where if you need to contact somebody that's not online, for example, maybe you want to mention them within the context of a document that you're working on, but they're not online. So how do you get them to react? So simple reaction, you just type an @ in the person's name, and a lot of collaboration capabilities that don't necessarily have to be in real time, which would be ideal. But if they're not online, you can still reference them, and as soon as they log in, see that they have an email message, they can go right to the document and edit everything that you need right away.
Sorry.
So there are obviously other pieces to this. What we really want to do is let you know, we wanted to kind of wet your whistle, so to speak, with with some of the streamlined efficiencies that Workspace has come up with. But the other thing is that maybe if you consider G Suite in the past, and now you're considering Workspace, what's the billing like, right? So it depends on where you're at. There's some customers on here that or prospects on here that are customers, and so talk to us, right? Or talk to Google about your plan, right? If you need to upgrade, that now is the time to look at that. But if you're on a current existing plan, an annual plan with G Suite, what was G Suite is now, the Workspace. Don't worry about it. You still have service. You're still going to have access to the features that you want, but maybe it's a time for you to consider other services. Maybe you're on a more basic version and actually you need things like archiving or e-discovery or even data loss prevention tools. Talk to us and we'll help recommend something that's flexible for you. People that are already existing on Enterprise, they don't need to worry about it. You've been upgraded to the latest version, but then of course at renewal you'll have a chance to determine if you want to stay on that platform or something, or move to something else. I mean, a different pricing skew. It's completely up to you. So really what it does is that it offers you more robust offerings. Yes, you have email, yes, you have calendar, but do you need extra storage? Do you need e-discovery? Do you need data loss prevention? Talk to us and we'll help find the package that's right for you. The other is that every version does have some fundamental business and security features in it. You don't want to be locked out from, just because you're using something that might not be considered the top tier enterprise program doesn't mean it still means you don't want to get spam, right? So there are basic tools that are available in there. But however, if you need other services or you have financial requirements to track information, we have data loss prevention rules and e-discovery tools for you that are available as well, depending on what package it is that you want. So if you go with Enterprise, that's going to be the one that has the latest and greatest in it, but it's going to be also the ability for you to choose different options based on what your requirements are. And of course, where we come in, focus on the work that matters and the tools that you need, discuss that with us. There might be a lot of fancy tools in there, but you might not want to pay for those. Talk to us and we'll give you the right, we'll set you into the right pricing skew. And so if you want to, jump to the next one.
Yeah, so you would choose Wursta because of our three fundamental principles, which are focus, innovation, and flexibility. And I'll go through those really quickly and easily. So we're a focused company. We've been with G Suite since day one, which is now Google Workspace, and we've been experts in that experience since day one. So we know the system and how to collaborate with it effectively. We're Google Workspace experts. And that gives us a deep insight into client pain points so that we can think outside the box to provide Google Workspace driven solutions. And then we're also an innovative company with new unique designs to approaching daily collaboration design or way of thinking or transformational growth. And then we're also a very flexible company. We're able to work with customers and provide support from a variety of our staff members to ensure that any client that we have is successful and equipped to meet your business's needs, and specifically offering account managers for every client that we do. So again, thank you so much for attending this webinar. And if you want, you can use the webinar instructions to fill in questions that you may have that both me and Brian can answer. We'd be happy to help with that.
Right, and so there is one question in here. I'll go through this. The question is, and legitimate question, why are you using GoToWebinar instead of Google Meet?
Should I jump in and speak to that as the marketer that set this up?
Sure, thanks, David.
You bet.
Hey guys, this is David Moore. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Wursta. The fact that we're using GoToWebinar is not something I'm super proud of. At the moment, the reason we used it was convenience at the time. It integrates very well into Pardot marketing automation system. And we needed to spin this webinar quickly to inform, both our clients and the market as to kind of some of the changes that were happening. So I went for speed over tooling, but we will be switching to a Google-based webinar product, either Meet or perhaps a YouTube Live, depending on the type of event we're hosting in the future.
Right, and I would also add that that's a great question, because if you've moved to the Google Workspace, are you locked into one platform? You can use other tools, right? I mean, if you're an Excel user and you don't want to use Google Sheets, they're not mutually exclusive. Go ahead and buy the Excel license or the Office license for that one person. But for everybody else, it enhances the collaboration experience. Maybe they don't need that in-depth thing. So instead of buying 200 licenses for all your employees for Excel, buy the one for the guy that needs it, right? Same thing with your meeting applications. I mean, obviously you guys have your own security parameters that you have in place, and maybe you have Google blocked because you're not using it. However, if you move to Google, you're going to want to have somebody consult with you to unblock everything and make sure that you're locking up the platform onto one secure administration console instead of using two different platforms like Zoom or GoToMeeting and Google. So again, the point is it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive, but there are reasons why you would want to lock it up for security reasons from there.
Yeah, and I think
I hope that answers your question with between the two of us.
Yeah. It looks like another question we got was around the decision, something about the on-demand customers, and when they have, was it a January 15th deadline that we might have mentioned?
Right, that's in the slide where it's talking about different decisions and decision dates to make for your new enterprise licensing comparatively from G Suite to Google Workspace. Correct. I believe they're talking about older clients or clients that already have a deal in place. Is that right?
The question was on-demand customers. We said on-demand customers had until July 15th to make a decision, but they thought that Google said that they had until the 31st of March. So if it's something we would need to take offline, we can also follow up, right, Jim, with you on that privately offline to clarify that. If
right,
that
and I would say it probably depends on where your licenses are coming from. So if you're an existing customer with us, then our obligation is to reach out to you and say, hey, things have changed, and so we try to do that early. If you're direct with Google, then same thing, go to them, have a conversation. You can have your licenses through us if as well, and then we provide the extra services. But it really just depends on where your licenses are coming from.
Right. And do we know anything about pricing and increases, or because I know there's been a lot of questions around that as well. I'm not sure if that's something Google's published quite yet, or if we have the ability, if that's just a case-by-case thing.
Again, it's a reason to talk to either us as a partner or Google if your licenses are direct with them to find out what the opportunities are. I mean, it's really not, hey, the licensing structure has changed. They're going to give you the equivalent of what you have now. Is it time to update, or is it time to take away some services because you don't need it? So it's really giving you more flexible pricing SKUs so that you can choose the exact option that's best for you. And we're happy to talk to you about that, no charge, anything. But again, if you're direct with Google, talk to them because they can provide you with the information as well.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of this is letting people choose their own adventure a bit more with kind of what services and what tools that they're getting from Google Workspace. So you can really customize it now with some of these. So we'd definitely be happy to chat with you. And on that pricing as well, there was a question around the user limit on business plans. I know that there's been some talk about a 300 user limit. Can you guys, that would need to, if you're over that, you need to upgrade to enterprise. Could you guys speak to that at all?
Sure. I mean, again, that would depend on what license you have, whether you're on G Suite now or not. But that is just something that, if you go to Google directly with that, you can get everything you need. But if you need somebody to negotiate on your behalf, obviously we're, as a partner, we're privy to some promotional pricing based on what Google allows us to do. It's not going to cost you the same, but they incent us to, to take your contract over. And by the way, when we do, we provide you with a dedicated account manager and support and everything else, right? So it's not just a license renewal. We really want to be your consultant in this.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the issue right now is there's still a lot of moving parts with any launch and anything that's this big of a change. We're all learning as we go through it. We have some unique insights that others don't, but that's why we're going to say sometimes, hey, it might be best just to talk with us, not because we want to get you on the call necessarily, but because we need to have a bit more in-depth conversation because there are so many new options for how you package up the workspace.
If you have questions, we're happy to answer them, whether you choose us or not. I mean, our job is to make sure that you guys, thank you for attending. So let's make sure that you guys are taken care of or given the right information. So just let us know, and we're happy to help.
Now, final question that I'm seeing in here: what are the options for somebody that doesn't want to switch email? So, for example, if I know I need some better security stuff, or I know I want some better collaboration tools from Google because that's what my teams are using, but I don't really want to migrate my whole email system and calendar and stuff.
That's actually a great question. So as I mentioned before, you don't have to use one service and not another. It doesn't have to be mutually exclusive, right? So if you want to use G Suite, there are options for you to use it just for collaboration. So the essential collaboration tools, right? So if you don't want to use mail or calendar, that's fine. You can. I mean, it can be included if you want, of course. But if you don't, and you just want to use it for document storage and collaboration capabilities, as well as putting, some sort of data loss prevention rules in there to make sure that people aren't sharing documents outside of the organization, just on their own, you need to set up some corporate, permission parameters as well. So yeah, absolutely. Again, that's kind of where the Workspace is coming in, is it's giving you different flexibility options. If you just want the collaboration tools, great. If you want the full suite of Workspace channels and services, no problem. If you just need maybe it's not even G Suite, maybe it's if you have questions about some Google Cloud Platform services, just ping us or ping Google and make sure you get the conversation going. But it's really about what is it that you want to customize, and we can definitely help you find out the right direction for that.
Yeah, and I did want to comment back to Bob. It looks like we didn't quite get the info that you wanted on your question. The 300 limit on the business plans, I know that's a new limit, and there's a lot of nuances with that we're working through right now. That's why we would like to maybe take that question offline with you and get a bit more info as to exactly the type of organization. You mentioned some child domains and some other things. So we'd like to just ask a few more in-depth questions around that so that we can provide the correct answer.
Right.
But that is true. They have stated that 300 user limit on the business plans. I hope that that helps answer your question. And Bob, we'll reach out to you after this webinar to get you those answers that you need, the more specifics. Great.
Well, great.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
No, go for it. Sorry. Thank you everyone for joining this webinar on the change from G Suite to Google Workspace held by Wursta. If you wanted to reach out to have more specific questions or contact a representative of ours, our contact information is on the slide before you. And until we see you again, hope you have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Everybody will be receiving an email tomorrow with a link to view this recording on demand. Please feel free to share that with anybody that might benefit. Have a great day.
Thank you.